One.
Bring me a glass of water.
Hello. Welcome to Stone Soup Poetry. I'm just proving to myself that I'm not AI. It's hard to tell sometimes. This is Chet Parento. This is Stone Soup Poetry. Also at the same time, we are live. At least in the beginning of this recording. By the end of it, we will no longer be live, and we'll be just a video on YouTube. But what a video! We've been doing a lot of homecomings this year. A lot of people welcoming a lot of people back who haven't been seen for a while. Some of them not since the days we were live. Some of them not as far back as since the days we were in Cambridge proper. We've been in a number of places live and then had to consign ourselves to online purgatory. We are very happy to welcome Diana Saenz, who is a poet, a past editor, past publisher, current poet, current author, current fiction writer, current screenplay writer. She has been keeping busy since leaving the East Coast, where she used to feature at Stone Soup Poetry multiple times. The numerous times alone, just in my brief time, my then brief time featuring poets at the Out of the Blue Gallery on 106 Prospect Street in Cambridge. Later moved to Mass Ave in Cambridge. Later moved to the Brew on the Grid in Cambridge, and later moved to the church on Park Street and at the Park Street T Stop. Later moved to the Fort Point Gallery, Point Arts Gallery, and so on and so forth. And now we're somewhere in we're somewhere on the internet, and we're very happy. I'm very happy to get a living document, a recording document. Back in the old days, I didn't have a lot of even options to photograph. I didn't have the tech at hand. I didn't have the tech to film, and a lot of our film is kind of in an unknown place now with the passing of our past videographer. So I'm glad to keep these documents going online on YouTube, and it gives me great pleasure to have Diana back tonight. So thank you so much. And also in the background is Marshall Harvey, who also is a past Stone Soup feature and reader. You'll be hearing him on the open mic. But speaking of the open mic, let us get on to the open mic. A lot of great people here tonight, a lot of returning folk. Let's welcome one of them, Jacob Moses, if you'd like to read first. We missed you the last couple of times, and it's great to have you back.
Thank you for having me, Chad. And wanted to make it last week, but I had a live feature, so I'm here this week, and I'm more than willing to share. This is from my last book, Grimoire. I have a current book, Answer Key, which is available on Amazon now. And there is going to be a book that will be available next year called Mutable Air, which is being put forth by Seattle Sound Publishing. Very happy about that. So I'm going to read a couple of pieces. This first one is called Majesties. From poet to healer, metaphor becomes medicine. From healer to muse, intention becomes inspiration. From muse to empath, whispers become winces. From empath to psychic, vexation becomes vision. From psychic to wizard, mystical becomes magical. From wizard to sage, spells become solace. From sage to artist, advice becomes aesthetics. From artist to father, paint becomes paternity. From father to Jew, gratitude becomes God. From Jew to poet, stars become stories. The other one I'm going to do, I wrote during the COVID-19 pandemic. I actually wrote it in April of 2020, the height of the pandemic. And many of the poems in Grimoire do come from that era. This is called Lingua Franca. For those unfamiliar with the term, a lingua franca is a language that is commonly spoken among different countries. So, such as French would be spoken in different countries throughout Europe and the Western Hemisphere. Love languages, eclectic at their core, but they coincide with the universe. Our tongues operate the same more and more. Through crises, we too embrace the diverse. While we spend all our quarantine alone, this common ground we share will emanate. Decoding of the philosopher's stone reveals the dialect of human faith. Whether English or Spanish or Russian, whether Chinese or Arabic or French, a poet's words will not cease in touching, will not keep us trapped in this solemn trench. COVID-19 preys on the strong and weak. In turn, it's given us the words to speak. Jacob R. Moses, you can check out my book Grimoire and my most recent book, Answer Key, available on Amazon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Good to have you back. And also back for another run is Mr. Richard Spizak, if you'd like to go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I've got two little pieces for you. Hopefully you'll find these mildly amusing. This first one is called Todd Blanche is off the ranch, got knocked down by an effing avalanche. He only wanted a career in law. He never guessed the things he'd have to gnaw. Seeing and slinking deeply to the fatal cratering flaw and drinking the hideous truth of all that stuff in Trump's ugly craw. Then standing idly by while whale watching all the little gots dumped on lie into Trump's voracious, flawed maw. Now he too knows why from the ugly, thugly things he saw. And in every twisting of the devil's tail, it's death and taxes or simply jail. Be the guy that helps the guy that watches, because if you turn in a New York minute, he'll spit in your eye. Flippin' guy lives by the low of the shiv, that's no lie. Prison, murder, treason, duplicity, the depths of depravity. You'll visit it with him every day, scheming all the while such corruption within, murdering and mayhem and the Russian mob. You gotta ask, do you love your job? What really happened to the whole man's 50K? Why, son, in an afternoon he'd secret that away. Holman only asked for 50. Oh my God, that boy is thrifty. Lindsay went down for 200K, but after that they gave him the check. Poof, as sure as Sunday they blew him away. The judge ruled the DOJ colluded with Trump, the lawyerly way of saying the deal just plain stank. They working and better be getting a mass of cash for that old chump when Trump's one pocket sues the other pocket, demanding $1 billion slush fund to pay off the gray copper masked guys wearing flasks. Those guys at the DOJ, whatever it is, the boss asks. Of course, it's a summary judgment, an off-the-books kind of deal. So who are you going to tell that deep creep insider deal? After hearing Todsky demur, he ain't known nothing. You never catch him biting on that blood-soaked muffin. When asked why he signed off on pardoning the J6ers, he said, I'll stop you right there. That's a presidential elixir. I have no stop on the pardoning power, but confidentially, if you're asking me, can I defend it? Then you'd be a liar. Pardoning criminals who've admitted crimes in court, why, as a recruiting tool for the thuggery class? It's a high-class spawn resort with extra gas. The DOJ, the judge said, hey, you colluded with Trump. There's nothing you can say, but your office hasn't responded. You're guessing, just say, go away. Oh, by the way, the tax haven for all those things, Trump, forever and no ever investigation. Why, that laughing stock? So what, you got your immunity for the whole damn Trump-litation across the nation. This is a short one, but very serious. It's called The Brutality. The brutality is almost unbelievable till the Pope, the Dalai Lama, the senior rabbi, and mullah should walk through the rubble-strewn seats of Palestine. The brutality is nearly unbelievable unless the Pope, the Dalai Lama, the senior rabbi, and mullah, and a rock star should walk through the rubble-strewn streets of Palestine. The brutality is incomprehensible until the Pope, the Dalai Lama, the senior rabbi and mullah, and a starlet should walk through the rubble-strewn streets of Palestine. The brutality continues until the Pope, the Dalai Lama, the senior rabbi and mullah, and the Security Council of the UN should walk through the rubble-strewn streets, the broken buildings, the murdered children, women, men of Palestine. The brutality continues until. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. I'd like to bring up next Nike Truth. It's been a while since we've heard from Nike. Let's hope you've been doing well.
Evening, everybody. Evening, chat. I've been not too bad. I just have one today, and it is the latest version of a poem I've done so far. The title is called God. You smiled at my arrogant requests, so I followed you, and your fur rose like fog the deeper we travel into the needled trees. Under your breath, you muse curious things, the scent of the month and the taste of the day, what the moths whisper about. We paused in front of a forked tree, roots as thick as stone and branches grabbing at the clouds. And when you looked at me, the truth chorused in my ears like spring peepers. And I knew the texture of the week and the sound of the hour and the spontaneity of the minute when the seed grew strong enough to push through the darkness and be curious of the sun. Thank you.
Thank you, Nike. Let's see who I can bring up next. I know. Let's bring up Mr. Mark States.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Watch Your Salt for Heather Flesher. It was all planned out. Adjustments made as circumstances changed, like an airplane altering course as storm develops or plane in the distance nears. Battles are rarely static, frozen on printed maps with arrows indicating troop movements. These things breathe, just as you or me, and in the blink of an eye, it is not as the map points out to be. It was all planned out, contingencies evaluated and plotted, likely reactions calculated on abacuses of prior experience, for one may not trust one's opponent, yet often one may trust their opponent to be themselves. As much as scorpions sting or water takes the path of least resistance and seeks out the lowest level. It was all planned out. Retreat is not an option. This is not survival. This is standing up and speaking out for justice and the right to exist and choose one's path in life. The battlefield is set. Pieces are moved, some removed. Checkmate is called. The arbiter makes a decision that pulls chessboard out from under the game. Pieces topple over. It is as though you've watched the movie Salt on television dozens of times, memorized its scenes and plot twists, watched its battles remain faithful to known outcomes, and then, on a whim, popping in a DVD and selecting the director's cut version. Proof of loyalty is no longer watching your husband die instantly from a kill shot, but a slow drowning while bound and gagged. Does Agent Salt kill evil Orlov on a barge in the middle of the movie, or at its end in a Russian monastery to finally be free? Does Peabody in a helicopter unlock her handcuffs and for revenge whisper, "Go get him"? Or does Salt have to plead he believe her and acknowledge her choice? It was all planned out. It did not turn out as planned. Confusion reigns. The theatrical version of this poem ends now.
And scene. Applause. Thank you so much, Mark.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's go over now to Rita Rusty Road.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here tonight for the feature, Diana and everyone. I'm working on a poem called Cantilever. I went braless in my teens. Nature was on my side, but not mother. She would wave her hands, scolding, "Better wear a bra. One day you will be sorry." In my 20s and 30s, I went clubbing. My free bobbing gals danced along with me. No matter where the music, my mother tisked, "Better wear a bra. One day you will be sorry." 40 to 60 strong, there was no stitch or lace for me. I continued to swing free. Mother warned, "Last chance to bra up, my dear, 'cause the sagging years are coming near." In my 70s, do I roam free? Not at all. Today, I sport a strap suspension to carry my girly load. Was mother right about sagging souffles? You bet. Without a cantilever, I get smashed in the face. And what's worse, I always fear getting out of bed and tripping over them. Dressing, I mirror check the fun bags. And as I do, I hear mother reprimand, "Said you would be sorry if you didn't bra up." Perusing my reflection, I bark, "Don't rub it in." These days, when I strike a pose in the looking glass, I hear mother's new tag, "Told you so." Thank you.
I don't think it matters whether you wore a bra or not. So you did right.
Right? I thought I'd do something light tonight.
Next, I'd like to welcome up Jackie Chow.
Okay. Every time when I pull up the poem, I end up let me see. Give me a few seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna read a villanelle. It's called The Crush. I wake without you by my side, to a dented pillow on my twin bed, my dream escapade, my only guide. By the world's decree I abide, taming my wild morning head. I wake without you by my side. It isn't up to me to decide where my clenched heart will be led, my dream escapade, my only guide. There's nothing I can do but hide these feelings boiling in the red. I wake without you by my side. I have no one in whom to confide. On Puritan morals I have been fed, my dream escapade, my only guide. The distance between us is wide. There's little chance we will wed. I wake without you by my side, my dream escapade, my only guide. And the next poem is called The Reaper. When death comes knocking, I will ask him where his blue suit is. Where is his boutonniere pinned to a velvet lapel, or the blonde hair in the sunlight held up by gel? Is that the best he can do? The hollow eye sockets, under a black hoodie? Where are my pink roses, my love emoji? He's not the one for me, a sucker for Don Quixote to the very end. Thank you.
Well, I like that very much.
Thank you.
And as you described death, I kept thinking what I would say to was you could have been somebody, not just a bum.
Thank you, Jackie. And now I'd like to bring it over to Mr. Robert Fleming, our own visual poet from Delaware.
Thank you, Chad. And I want to thank Chad for publishing one of my digital arts today, pairing it with the poem, and I will be sharing that now. There we go. So this is my digital art, and it started with a photograph I took of the leaves, which was an arranged photograph where I collected leaves and I made my own pile and photographed it, and then I applied a filter called Poster, which usually produces the American colors red, white, and blue, but in this image it only produced red. The way that you can get around that is you can add a blue background to the image to give you the blue, and then the rest would be white, so then you would have your red, white, and blue. And then I'm going to read the work. See, where is it? Here it is. I want a priest who only speaks in maloprisms. Who says, well, hindsight is 50-50, when asked, why her church did Galileo so wrong? Wasn't he telling the truth? Sure, she shrugs. Honesty is the best fallacy. When we question her about God, ask why bad things happen despite all this providence, she tells us we're missing the florist for the bees, that there's more of snake than needs to cry. I want a priest I can pull aside with teenage worries and ask her in all my private panic if it's really okay to be gay. A priest who will meet my eye seriously with, be the strange you want to see in the world. Please don't tell my parents. I don't want them to know yet. She'd be safe to ask. She's innocently stare at the steeple, always winking. What goes up should probably stay there. She'll tell us to be good to each other before we'll hear it anywhere else. What goes around is all around. Kids, she croons, her hands high in prayer. Better safe than sorrow. I love her hymns because she is not afraid of our tenderness. She tells us to let our weak flags fly. My priest will remember Jesus fondly, recount how her holy pal offered comfort. He looked along the beach we spanned and said to me, wherever you see one set of handprints, that is where we did the wheelbarrow. That is where I held your feet. When she stokes the Sunday fire for burning palms, my perfect priest would remind us that all complain multitudes. On Wednesday, she will mark our foreheads with ashes and a warning. Our hands cannot live on bird alone. So this poem was by David Eileen. He lives in the mountains of Virginia. A big advocate for talking to your neighbors. Their work and letters are concerned with interconnectedness, lineage, queer resilience, labor rights, solidarity, and care for our planet. They would love to talk to you. And the visual art was done by me, Robert Fleming. So thank you for letting me share today's publication in Oddball. I'm going to just share one more thing, a little bit of news. So I'm one of the editors for the digital magazine Instant Noodles. Our theme, Al Dente, closed July 5th, and the magazine is in production. Our planned live date is August 1st, but I doubt we're going to make it. I predict August 15th or August 31st, and I will have one visual poem in the magazine. I'm currently in 2 art shows. One is at my local gay and lesbian community center called Camp Rehoboth. My work is called Rainbow Boardwalk. I also have work in at my local art gallery called the Rehoboth Art League. It is called Rehoboth Beach Cloud. And the Delaware Art Museum is having a people's exhibition for America's 250th birthday. And this gallery is 80 miles north of where I live. One of my peers, who is also in the Coastal Camera Club, is driving all of the members' works to the show. So I'm grateful that I have one less drive to make. And I just dropped it off at her house today. And I'm also still participating in the Massachusetts Poetry Olympics. The August submission format for the poem is free verse, and that will be available for submission August 1st. So thank you for letting me share today's oddball poem and some current news. Thank you, Chad.
Where did the
Thank you,
name?
Robert.
Where did the name?
And I think I'd like to welcome up Marshall Harvey, hiding behind the curtain of Diana Saenz's window.
Yeah. All right.
You might have to move the camera up a bit to catch your face.
Let's see.
There you go. See something?
Better. I think that's good. Okay, well, this poem I recently wrote about an event that happened about 30 years ago when Diana and I had a glass of wine at a tavern in Copley Place. You may have been there or seen it or whatever. An open neck black wool coat with a scarf and hat. I was always warm. My heat rose and warmed me on the way out of the coat. Global warming helped too. Those are old days. 1997, not long ago, but the experience different. Notes of early salads mixed with alarm clocks, pungent mists and Visual Basic programming blended with fresh herbal poetry. I think one week, who knows when I saw the posh bar and said, "Hey, let's go there sometime." So next week, it seemed perfect to just go there and avoid the snow, sit inside and drink wine. The 12-foot tall window let us know just how hard the wind blew. The bartender tended to his jiggers. The white snow melted into the cold, hard wind with notes of jasmine and mint carefully added to the toasted coffee flavor. roasted summer leaves, notes of hyacinth and cherry, with mocktail hints of a cold digital dawn, and frankness. Your little cat would wait for our return as long as he had to. I must have parked in the underground garage, only a short distance from your apartment in Somerville, Copley Place, Copley Plaza, named after the well-known painter John Singleton Copley, who after the famous Tea Party, pressure still building like a tempest, his father-in-law, the agent for the tea that got discarded. Well, he went to Europe to study painting, as many had asked him to do. No AI broke in upon him or me with its poem about Copley Place, saying, a vertical intersection of commerce, brushed metal grids holding clear, unyielding panes, cage of modernity. No, nothing like that. It feels as if he and I must do our own work or cease to exist. AI provides stuff to consume, but without benefit of nutrition. The notes catch me again. Chocolate, red wine, olfactory subtleties, a mine of gifted moments, notes of lemon skin. I lean forward into the afternoon and turn to you. I watch the red wine glasses wait for us to consume more of it. You lean forward into the afternoon as well. You see something as it is. I wanted to see something, a gigantic glass for one, and if the red wine color mixed with expectation might be perfect, perhaps it ends with stepping out in the cold air with 2 glasses of wine in stomach. You ask my opinion of the wine, ask whether anything transcended anything, for transcendence wins high regard. Did one peer into did one peer into the whatness of a real thing like a medieval scholar, winning such an accolade any wine could aspire to? Would a second glass yield further proof of an object's nature? One must try to expand one's knowledge, and if one merely grows tired and dull, save the experiment for another day. Reality has the focus. The eye owns a tool that expands its reach. Notes of library stacks, chemical beakers, old diamonds, notes of low sunlight, prize-winning cigar fumes. I ask your opinion. You say we are here for a reason. Notes of necessity and human underpinning of the reality we know. If it is in fact what it seems to be, again, low light, charcoal notes, primeval fires, daily blubber snack, marrow bones, the beginnings of clothes. We could talk about those things day after day. The goal is enough food for a day until impressive strings of days appear. Could fashion a smoke out of whatever serves. Some choices are better than others. Many burn the throat. And the wisdom in domestic shelters, arranging one's possessions inside, stand together against the rain, as if we can stand up to its vastness. It doesn't care. The rain goes on. On an otherwise empty, narrow wall, I see a 12 by 12-inch painting of the front of a bus with flat red and light blues. I can almost believe that the clarity of the wine color is what I'm after, as if I were a painter, a Copley in search of a specific wine. Part 2. Can you make this moment valuable? That's the goal, not carpe diem, which sullies the valuable idea with the day is fleeing, because the day is not fleeing. Days continue forever. I wish I could prove this finally, but I only know it. There is always somewhere where days continue, even if in an alternate universe or in a universe you go back to through physical laws. You come to know better in a later time or in a different other time. Can you make this moment valuable? That's the goal. You start by examining the moment, pure duration, la durée, as Henri Bergson called it, always in motion. The moment motion, moment of motion, moment moving, all through us, all around. La durée, impossible to capture. Our words try to pin it down, but It evades us forever, and continually at each attempt, it lies at the basis of reality. Can you make this moment valuable? That's the goal. Capture yourself in the moment in which you value it. You'll find you can't capture yourself in that moment. You as well are in motion. You slide out of that moment and wonder where it went, but later you go back, find it, and marvel at it, possess it over and over. You value the moment again, just as you did before. That's the goal. It happens. You can be certain. There you go.
Well, yes, we can be certain. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Marshall. And now I'd like to see if John Weswick would like to read.
Sure. A couple weeks ago, I think Nina asked, what's the hardest thing to write about in a poem, and so I took this as a challenge. It's called Ocean's 11. The world is a chastity belt with combination lock, intimacy caged behind concrete and steel, microphones, motion sensors, 10 million possible permutations. Once I tickled the dial with sanded fingers while listening for tumblers to fall, but disillusion installed a time lock last opened in 2007. Dad said I could grow up to be Danny Ocean if I did my math homework while calculating the course of a riverboat across a current. I dreamed of taking down casinos with a George Clooney swagger and Julia Roberts on my arm. No ocean after all those cosigns, just a dog-eared trig table, stink of loneliness, and punch bowl of ridicule. I'll do one more. This one's called Yard Sale at the Theater of the Absurd. Harold Pinter's Slide Rule, Ionesco's Microwave, Samuel Beckett's Chicken Bucket, Brecht's Lawn Darts, Kafka's Bug Spray, E. Cummings' Caps Lock, Gross Encounters of the Third Kind, Boy Nixon, Young Mr. Stalin, The Roquefort Files, Teaching a Woman to Anticlimax by Gil Scott Heroin, Troy's Bicycle, Sisyphus's Resume, Epic of Synchromesh, Tower of Psychobabble, Ashuri Bonipal's Copyright Infringement Lawsuit, The Faint Odor of History, Stockton Russia's Innovation Award, Funeral Balloons, 9mm bullet trains, white-collar work songs, A Child's Dream of Subsistence Farming, Chekhov's Drawing Room, Jack in the Beanbag Chair, If you show a sofa, it must go off, Geese quoting Plato, Desert Seagulls, Archaeopteryx Toothpaste, Bewilderbeast, Basho's Frog Splash Cologne, Howling Dog Doppler Shift, Plutonium Soup, I'm a Stove, Marshmallow Clock, Mole Pie, Pelican Pemmican, Samurai Pinata, Love's Aftertaste, Pleas for Donations, a cornucopia of smorgasbords, Hallmark layoff cards, Last Judgment on sale at Ticketmaster, State of the Unicorn, The Pantsuit of Happiness, Banal Lit, emulator of recycled cliches, Poet Laureate of the Borg Collective, 250 words from the corner of Tamarack and PCH, Dr. Zeus, Barbaric Yelp, A Really Mean Monday, The Bridge No One Reviewed.
Thank you, John. I've been trying to reach him through text, but through messaging, but I'm going to have to ask him outright. Ethan Mackler, of the Garage Poets and now the Controverse Open Mic. Would you be willing to perform tonight? Cool. Ethan Mackler, everyone.
Hi, Ethan. Good to see you.
Hey, Ethan.
Thank you, Ethan. And to close us out tonight, I'd like to bring up Marianne Honecker, one of our past July features, and someone with a new book. Oh, and she got the book. Looks like I better check my mailbox. Wish I could have that hold up.
Since we were talking about the basement earlier, I thought I might read my poem on that topic. This is called The Basement. All day the fat flakes fall but do not stick. The daffodils bend their stems, spill their golden cups. Between the stars is other matter, dark matter. We don't know what it is. It bends gravity. The snowflakes appear to defy gravity by falling down but never landing. No surface holds them, although I can feel their cold brush on my cheek. When I go in, my coat is dry. This is how little an impression most people leave on me. Dark energy drives the accelerating expansion of the universe. Darkness drives the expansion of the soul. I should go down into my basement. I can't keep ignoring what is there. Dark energy is 68% of the observable universe. Wells swim in my subconscious, fucking leviathans, giant squid. I need to take a look into my depths. It's not love, but dark energy which will tear us apart again. When expansion stops, contraction begins until we arrive at the point of the next Big Bang. Will I live it all over again, this life? Will I still mistake love looking to my right for it when it is standing on my left? It's not true that we use only 10% of our brains. Most of a human brain is active most of the time. Let's say next time around I use not just my whole brain, but my entire soul, and we fall into human love, passionate and irritable. The soul weighs 21 grams. All 21 grams I slather on you, covering your body. But I don't imagine we'd marry, be happy. I don't even imagine I'd come out of it with my jawline intact. With the scented candle in a jar, I duck into my basement. You're seated there on a throne. The candle smells like cinnamon. The darkness expands, pushing stars farther apart. What I'm seeing is irrational. The flame gutters, then releases a ghost of smoke. And I also intended to share a new one. This is called Frightener. A raven's eye is as deep as a black hole. What goes in lives in the raven forever, engulfed in darkness. Pepper me a little with raven feathers. Teach me the story of the black hole's belly. I am drenched in night, her oily feathers enfolding me. I dreamed I had to carry this body through childhood, drag it over grass, learn the unique pink of my comforter. My body, fallen feather, useless for flight, shutting the double doors of my mind. Nothing comes in, nothing goes out. I am a frightener. You see me and clench, your fragile health tight in your belly. You see yourself in me, in the mirrors of my glasses. The lenses don't lie. Look beyond to my summer sky eye. Anyone at all can fall this low. I had a daisy to pluck for love. Now my lusts burn low. No fire, just smoldering embers. Now go into the forest and breathe in the exhalations of trees. Do it for me. I can no longer travel. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and grab her book. Information's all up on the Stone Soup, the Stone Soup recording posts on Facebook and elsewhere. And with that, I announce a 1 week sabbatical next week for Stone Soup. No Stone Soup next week. Next Wednesday, it will return in 2 weeks' time with the first feature of August to be confirmed and announced. I hope you guys come back for that, and I hope those of you who are local come in for the Stone Soups for the Boston Poetry Marathon, which will be taking place on Saturday and Sunday, August 8th and August 9th. We're finalizing the list of people, and hopefully we'll get that out by the end of this week. With nothing else keeping us, nothing else, no more delays, I will read the boilerplate for our feature tonight, and then we will proceed. And for those of you who've heard Diana before, you know you're in for a treat. Or I'll show you why you are in for a treat. Diana Saenz is a native of Los Angeles, where she encountered her first writers at East LA College and was part of the community in the early 70s, mixing with activists of every sort, from the Chicano Renaissance of graphic artists and writers in magazines like Consejos to the Brown Berets and the Revolutionary Communist Party. After which she was evicted from the RCP, she made her way to San Francisco, joining the vibrant poetry scene, which included forces of nature like Jack Hirschman, R.I.P., Joey Cook, and Bob Kaufman, and where she morphed into performance poetry. She traveled overseas and lived in London, mixing with the thriving community of poets. Returning to San Francisco, performance poetry led to playwriting and a decade in the theater community, particularly the Latino Theater Artists Association, which included Sherry Moraga. Josefina Lopez, and Octavio Solis. She and others established Sangre, a multicultural theater company, and produced a number of plays. Diana moved to France shortly thereafter, before returning to this hemisphere, where she settled in Montreal, Canada for 6 months before her visa expired. Then moved to the East Coast after a year in Alabama. My condolences. Where she wrote the Book of Eve in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She found that there was no calendar for poets like Poetry Flash in San Francisco, and established the Boston Poet Calendar and magazine, RIP to both, later run by Debbie Byrne. Later, she established BostonPoet.com and created an interactive calendar that anyone could populate with their poetry announcements. She met her husband, Marshall Harvey, at TT the Bears, a popular Stone Soup Thursday night poetry venue in the 90s, run by the late Jack Powers. Together, she and Marshall published the works of other poets, including Badass and Virgin Voyage, which featured C.C. Collins, Meg Smith, Michael Weaver, Walter Howard, and Raffi Wolf. 20 years on the East Coast. One spring, she returned to her native California in 2013, where she wrote her first novel.
Dad,
Eventually,
I didn't know
was
you were
it?
going to read the whole thing.
Well, what do you want? Okay, today she continues to write political articles on Substack, books, and the occasional poem. Active in the Atheist Meetup group, teaches yoga. Received her certification earlier this year, and she is currently working on a yoga manual for seniors to be published this year. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I embarrassed her enough. Let's put your hands together.
No.
Hey, I respect the poets' boilerplate and their entourages, and you have both tonight. So put your hands together 40 to 45 times for Diana Saenz.
Thank you. Okay. My first poem is from my book, An Ordinary Life Discussed. Can you see?
You might want to pull the camera back.
Oh yeah.
I can only see part of your face, and I can see all of Marshall.
Oh yeah, right. So, well, anyway, there's the book. It's called A Ordinary Life Discussed, and here's just one of the poems. It's called oops, what am I doing? I don't know what's going on. But anyway, meeting. Okay, so I just say okay. I don't know what's going on. Okay. This is called Sunday Drive to the Joshua Trees. Cushioned upon the sofa seats of a mid-20th century auto, we motor over the golden poppy-covered mountains into the flatlands opening of the desert, her dry weed hide, rattlesnake, horny toad. Escheresque shamans extract a bitter root milk from this fecund land of angled cacti that twist round the moon. Men painted green seek us out, engaging voice with the tactile sun. Such is the way. Every dry land echoes the other in its silence and weight of bones. They swallow our words, gulp down as the heat mates to the air, and dry mouth kisses one. The shamans and dry mouth kisses one. The shamans hear of this event and gather round to touch that face, its succulent bouche pursed. This is how time cannot diminish. For instance, the desert inhabiting our memories. Such is a land that loves the cool earth of snakes and their sideways strolls that beckon strangers, as well as offlings, that calls with dry tendrils of silent dreaming and prickly cheeks, and trees whose roots are carrots the size of men. The cowgirl's face, lean grooves, her Stetson molded by sweat, the solid hum of passing truckers. I'm going to close the door here. My dog is acting out. Let's see. The Stetson molded by sweat, the solid hum of passing truckers, the desert flush against great two-tone Chevys and the toe jam families who eat sandwiches and watch the passing desert, insulated by their radios and igloo soda coolers. White, her red dust face, and black night hands, her tumbleweeds linger. Hurry, porous black eyes stare back, her belly of sand. We are each of us baptized in the arena of our home ground. The chance pungent oleanders, the dry desert, its dust and heat smells, its pressing silence. And I would like to read a poem this is a long poem. It's about 5 pages long, and it's called WTF, because I couldn't think of a better name than WTF. And it's about, it's sort of a chronicle of the pandemic. So I'm just gonna read one little section here. It's called January 2021. Their arms enrolled expensive sleeves, even as they take the jab, pose for the look at me's, typical, cynical. As for prayers these days, unknown in numbers as they are, it is fair that prayers get a free pass to everything. Welcome prayers wherever they stick their nose, and the mounting weight of every added prayer. Does it sink into an ancient, jaded heart of hearing God, who said so long ago, au revoir, I have no more fish to fry? Make your own way, that we should make our palates soft and low, as close to Mother Earth. Shall we not hear God when he said, love your mother? And besides, the only prayer that God hears is when we offer our souls. When suddenly, to no one's surprise, a pub house pooch shopping for souvenirs, the revolting grin into the little box, their loot, their Viking route, evidence, siege, premies of the deposed king, crush one of their own in their trample to follow. He who is not there, a cult attached to a con man whose spectacular con makes him keen to his own disbelief. I am fucked, said he, and in his life he was the most right he had ever been. But backsteps are forbidden. So out he leapt to kill and like it and kill again. This way, cold storage box cars, the dead uncondemned wait in limbo, parked on valuable property in New York City. A murder of senators in their violet, puffed up blowfish, dithered and hemmed, said the Scarlet Emperor, naked Emperor Scarlet. Laws are for patsies, and it worked. A chunk of the human pie bit into a dizzying aberrance with uncommon passion, screaming to die for their troubled sovereign imp. Such ecstasy had to bear fruit, an out-of-body orgasm swept upon the phalanx of souls. But we already knew, did we not? You did not know? Were you not listening? We knew. Still, it took our breath away. The screen, like a painting of war, formed before us. The citadels were stormed for a long moment. To see our flawed democracy falter would be the vengeance of King George. And for my next poem, this is a poem. Marshall wrote a poem, his Copley Square poem, and we had agreed to read to each of us write a poem. The objective was to write a poem about drinking without sounding like an alcoholic. I don't know if that's possible, but this one is called "Blessed by the Grape," and I did have a map to follow, and that map is verbose, jocose, grandiose, bellicose, lachrymose, morose, comatose, and adios. There rises my pulse. The roses flush with amusing chatter. The shoulders drop their tension, more nonchalant than before. Take a drink. The voices rise for no reason, the joy that quenches thirst, the loose-tongued raconteur in your real-life dream. Profound forgotten witticisms, interrupting thoughts, not so pleasant losses that were good luck in disguise. And also in the past that you vowed to forget, and you did until today. Spill the bad taste from your mouth. Take another drink. Who would you trust to bring you back from an extreme decision? Deep discussion with a stranger. Like a prophet you swim, sad for everything you loved, for their finite beauty, honeyed as an Irish lilt, but finite. Why not define our lives, force our gods to despair of us, pull their hands from our pockets, leave us to drift without their counsel, their protection, or their ire, to be relatively free? Take another drink. Press reset. You are God. Let the bastards win. It is not on the list. You set out to be that spook, the one in the narrow tie. You promised to watch them wither away. Did you? Before you die. Did you win? Great ambitions, like unknown heroes, shoot into the void, dodging space junk like taekwondo. Take another drink. When we are alone, even as a garland of weepers far from the hinterland of innermost thoughts annoy the nurse. Was I true to myself? Did I live to the fullest? Complicated promises for the future to sort out. The future comes on the day of the promised morphine drip. Sound the long beep. Silent history. Welcome fungus. And I thought that I would read a little bit from my book called Ibarra, which is a story of a vampire in the first part of the 20th century. And I see that there's a lot of gothic kind of characters here with their, with their bats on their pillowcases and stuff. So it just seems rather appropriate. So I'm going to read from Ibarra a few pages. And Ibarra doesn't like to drink human blood. So he does all these things to find a way to drink blood to have his, daily meal without killing people. And this is the last chapter. It's called The London Blitz. He is from England. He was born in Spain, but came to England as a child. And he goes to America and he meets, F. Scott Fitzgerald and the mafia and all kinds of people and everything. And he comes back at the beginning of World War II and he's a doctor at this point. 6 days later, a bomb hit the main hospital corridor, causing the medical outpatients block to collapse and destroying the kitchen, the canteen, dispensary, and administrative block. The damage was extensive, but miraculously, no one was hurt. Backup generators kicked in, restoring power within hours. Surgeons and surgical nurses turned the basement into operating rooms and worked 18 hours straight, sorting through patient after wounded patient from the nightly bombings. Medical staff took turns wolfing down their meals. Ibarra, pale as death, knew he had to find a private interlude to consume his required blood. At last he found his moment and shut himself in the prep room to suck in a few liters when Dr. Muller walked in. "What the devil are you doing?" shouted Dr. Muller. He tried to back out of the room, but Ibarra swiftly blocked him. "You've got to hear me out. Drinking blush. Listen to me. Listen to me." Ibarra's veins sticking out of his forehead gripped Muller and held him fast. "Are you mad?" Ibarra sat Miller down. Ibarra had never felt such fear. "I'm a vampire." Muller stared. "You are mad." To Muller's astonishment, Ibarra bared his fangs. Muller's mouth dropped open. He tried to back away, but Ibarra held him fast. "Samuel, I am not Ibarra's son. I am Ibarra, the one you saved 35 years ago, the one who carried you with your crushed leg and paid for your education. I am that Ibarra, and you know me. You know that I don't kill people, at least since we figured out how to store blood. I'm a doctor now. I'm the same man you have always known, including this one crazy fact that I'm a genuine vampire who must have blood to survive, human blood, but who doesn't prey on human life. You know me. I am here saving it." Muller was shaking so hard his teeth chattered. "Are you going to kill me?" "Of course not. I know they call me Dr. Miracle. How do I do it? I give them my blood, vampire blood, just a few drops. It is my so-called miracle. I have no idea how it works, but it does, and that's how I've been able to save so many lives." "You're making vampires?" No, 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 it doesn't work that way. A few drops of blood and all it takes to help people. To make them a vampire, they would need to drink directly from me and a lot more. That's how it works. "Well, stay away from my daughter." "Well, thank you. And you can stop playing Cupid." Muller had to admit he'd been trying to pair the two. He calmed his heart, no longer pounding in his chest. Ibarra stepped back. Both men straightened their ties and smoothed their white, blood-stained coats. "What are you going to do now?" asked Ibarra. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm a man of science, and you've just dropped a fantastic fable on me. I don't know what to believe. May I, examine your teeth?" Ibarra sat down and opened his mouth. His fangs had retreated and looked slightly more pronounced than normal incisors. "They come out when you're eating?" "Well, yes. Also when I'm angered or highly agitated. I can control them at will." "Show me," said Muller. Ibarra did so. Muller observed the incisors grow into fangs and sharpen to needle points. He stepped back, simultaneously intrigued and repelled. "A man of science must acknowledge what he sees," said Ibarra, looking a little too smug for Muller's present state of mind. Suddenly they were rocked by a massive explosion that shook the entire wing of St. Thomas. "We've been hit." Ibarra leapt from his chair and rushed to the door. "Ibarra," cried Muller, "finish your meal." Ibarra went back and sucked down the rest of the liters as Muller watched Ibarra's color return. "Before you go, can you do something for this murderous leg that's been ailing since I crushed it 35 years ago? It was bearable when I was a young man, but now Hacksaw Flanagan is after me to cut it off." "There is something Freudian about Hacksaw Flanagan's Satterley," scoffed Ibarra. "Stop grinning, you cheeky monkey, and give me a few of your so-called Dr. Magic vampire drops." Ibarra did so. Muller looked surprised. The lines of pain vanished from his face, and he looked suddenly younger. "I want to look at your blood under the microscope when we have a quiet moment," said Muller. Then both doctors hurried out to find what portion of St. Thomas was still standing. And that's my reading for today.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together at least 50 to 55 more times for Diana Saenz, who overcame the embarrassment of her boilerplate and gave us a wonderful reading. The culmination of all that experience, especially since leaving Boston and still being prolific, that's something to be admired. And we hope you keep working. And speaking of working, aside from the yoga book, is there any other volumes of poetry or novels in the works coming out?
No, there isn't. It's really rare that I write poetry now. And somehow it just, went away. And because I'm addicted to writing, I started writing books and other things and articles and all that other stuff. I mean, writing is what I must do. And after probably 10 books of poetry, I think I kind of said everything I could say, with poetry. And so I moved to different mediums.
Can you share the link to your Substack in the chat?
What?
Can you share the link to your Substack in the chat?
I would have to go get it, and I that would take me.
Oh, you can send it to me later, and I can share it later.
Yeah,
that won't be a
okay.
problem.
Yeah.
Or I might be able to find it on the site now.
They're all political articles. That's what when I'm writing articles, they're usually politically, how the last election was stolen, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, keep on working, and Substack's a tough one to get traction on, especially with the type of people you get on it. But you can say that with every single social media site and its grandparents. But so keep on working, and if you can either send it to me later, or I can hopefully find it. But congratulations for a great reading, and definitely keep on doing what you're doing. And you're welcome back here anytime. We do this just about every Wednesday. Next week being an exception, but hopefully someday, if you make your way back east, we'll have a live reading to.
That'd be great. Although I never want to get on another airplane.
Yeah.
I had to fly back and forth so many times when I was living in the East Coast. But because my parents live here. But anyway, thank you so much. It was great to hear everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Again,
Well,
and really, it was just terrific to hear all these great poets.
It was great hearing from you. It was great hearing from all the people on the open mic. I'm glad you all stayed to listen. Next week we take a week off. The next week we'll have a to be determined, to be confirmed feature for August, and hopefully going out in style as we finally say get the fuck out to the summer, and hopefully to other entities, and be they metaphorical or spiritual or actual people who we want to just kill over and die. But why project my opinions and outlooks on people? It's good time to say goodbye.
Chat,
Thank you guys
chat,
very much.
Is Stone
And
Soup
Chat.
online only?
No,
online only for the time being, and hopefully I'll be in talks with people. I've been very busy between personal matters, doctor's visits, and the Boston Poetry Marathon. Hopefully, I can secure at least a location, and I've seen other opportunities arise recently that hopefully I'll be able to capitalize on. So hopefully, Snow Soup will be live again at some point, and I will. I'll definitely let you know. Unfortunately, a lot of this group won't be able to show up, but hopefully, new generations of poets will rise up from wherever they are and actually say, "Oh God, a live reading that's not in Cambridge for once, for fucking once," and we will all meet again at some stage or another. Even if I do have a regular live venue, I like the habits of the online reading to give it up entirely, especially from the groups and the various people that I've met on this forum. I would hate to see it all go. So online will continue one way or another.
So chat, So you say you're doing the Boston Marathon. Is that, the poetry marathon? Is Harris still involved in that?
Well, that was the Boston Celebrates National Poetry Month marathon. That was
That
the
one.
one in April. He's not involved with
Ah,
this one. This one was formed by
okay.
individuals such as John Mulrooney, Jim Burley, might be familiar figures to you. Jim Burley has since moved on, but he passed on the reins to Bridget Eileen Madden and Suzanne Mercury and Christina Strong and Christina Liu. Suzanne Mercury and Bridget recently left, leaving in the helms of Christina Strong, Christina Liu, and myself. So and various other volunteers. It's been going on for over 20 years. I was involved with it back when it was called the Boston Poetry Massacre,
So
and
is
Jim Burley
it
would change. What's that?
is it is it is it anything like the Solana the Refusix or the what is that?
Yeah,
Is it like that where
Salon de Refugee.
the refusee, right, where the artists that were refused by Harris Gardner, perhaps,
Oh
joined
wow.
their own thing, you know? Is that what happened?
It's
Right.
it's kind of was born of its own thing from the Suffolk University poetry scene, William Corbett and the like. They kind of had their own school going with Pressway for Press,
Right.
and they incorporated a lot of poets from shall we say, the Stone Soup and Harris Gardner scene. They put out the anthology "The Blind See Only This World," which was a tribute anthology to the late John Wieners. So it's always kind of had outliers, and it's become more, even more inclusive to other avenues. So I'd like to think it's a healthy smorgasbord. It could be healthier, it could be a little bit more diverse, but we are working on that with each passing day. And we only have 2 days to feature over 100 poets.
Oh,
So it gets and each person has 7 minutes to read. So it is a challenge, but it's definitely a fun experiment, and it's chances are someone always cancels, so someone always has a last minute engagement. So even if you're out there and you're actually listening about this, first of all, thank you, subscribe, and second of all, definitely come because you could have a chance to read. That's how some of our regular readers got to do it. It's a wonderful process. And if
fantastic.
we're lucky, we can actually have a live stream, but I can't promise that given my limited tech. But if Bridget comes, I think we can do it. So no promises with the online, but if it is, you'll see it on the Boston Poetry Facebook page.
Now, what I understood you to just say is that someday this other marathon may be online partly as
No,
well.
no,
No?
It's
no.
been online in the past as a live stream. We weren't able to get that together the last year, especially since the
I,
person who had all the tech to do it was gone. But
I,
if we're lucky, we can get it done. We can get it done maybe this year, or hopefully definitely next year.
nice.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
And if it
Okay.
is online this year, I'll definitely let people know.
wonderful.
But for now, check out the Facebook page, especially the Stone Soup page and the Boston Poetry Marathon page for updates on the marathon events and future Stone Soup features. Thank you guys very much. Obligatory wave time. It's so good to hear you all and see you all. Thanks so much, Diana, and good luck with everything. Thank you guys so much, and could be like this every time. All we need is you. The show's over. See you next time.
Thank you very much.
Take care, and thank you again.